Hey everyone, welcome to Lost Resort with me, TOKiMONSTA. Lost Resort is a weekly show streaming at you live every Thursday here on Twitch. Today my guests are Strangeloop Studios and Peabody. Strangeloop Studios is an LA-based media production company that focuses on concert visuals, immersive experiences, short films, music videos, and the new narrative forms. Peabody is a music producer and DJ based out of LA and a label boss at TAR. So let me have them join. There you go.
What up?
Hey, how's it going? What's that in the back?
Watching some good content.
Is it getting really? Is it just super meta?
Already.
Do you have the show streaming behind you? Is that what's really happening, or is that
something?
Because
it's on. We're in it.
It's
a show in a show.
A stream within a stream, as they would say. So yeah, Ian, David, Peabody, how are you all doing?
Pretty good. Hanging in there.
Yeah.
I just moved. So. Yeah, exactly. Trying to stay in this world.
I want to do a super cut of all the pauses that people have given before giving an answer to how are you doing over the course of the morning. People being like,
yeah, I know. It's a loaded question because no one's gonna say, "Look, I'm doing great," and I'm like, "If you're doing great, why? Why? That is not a good answer for this time." But yeah, I mean, I think a better question. I think it's like a force of habit to ask, "How are you doing?" It's an awful question to ask. You should never ask someone how they're doing, unless you want to hear people lie to your face. Or force, pressure people to give you an answer.
I'm doing really good. Yeah, I'm doing really great.
Yeah. How about this? How have you guys been hanging on? What have you guys all been doing during this quarantine sort of fiasco we've been going through?
I'll let these boys start.
Okay, we'll start with you guys.
Yeah.
I've been coming over to Dave's. We entered each other's households when we had to not have anybody in the office anymore. And we got really depressed with remote work, and we kept it really, really, conservative, not going anywhere, not eating out, any of that stuff, but mainly just so this could happen. And it actually has provided, at least for me, more than a modicum of sanity, to actually have that in-person working relationship and have one element that isn't drastically different than it was 4 months ago. But I also just teed Dave up to be it's been horrible since you've been coming. Of course, it was amazing.
It was so great, and then Ian showed up. So it's actually, it's not too bad because we've got sort of a whole studio here with lots of workstations, and my apartment has become kind of Strangeloop Studios right now. So it's not that bad.
Huh.
Yeah, I feel for me,
sorry.
No, go on.
Oh, my only comment was if you guys didn't have each other, it would have been quite treacherous, I think.
Yeah,
I don't even want to think about it.
I don't either. I like seeing you guys next to each other. I almost don't know what it's like to see you guys individually. At first, I thought it was just gonna be. I just thought it was gonna be David, and I was like, "That's gonna be weird without me there."
I was trying to convince him to wear an Oculus during the whole thing.
Just straight VR.
He should just wear them on the top of his head. When people wear sunglasses like this.
Yeah. Gotta make it always part of your fashion, though. Yeah, I feel like I've seen David and Ian a couple of times throughout this, which has been nice because it's the rare few people. I've seen Lotus too a couple of times, but it's hard to want to really venture out because you feel like you're not supposed to. So even obviously it's worse now, but even in the beginning it was we started doing our streaming thing on Brainfeeder, and it became a thing where it was we couldn't get together because it felt like too much pressure to be just not do the right thing basically. But here the same thing is it's been busy still, which is good. I feel like a lot of people, even people I know that weren't busy before, are busy during the quarantine, which is good. I mean, either just learning new stuff or just kind of continuing the similar path that they already had, with a little more time to do it. Obviously it's been super stressful, but I feel like it allows a lot of people to kind of hyper in focus on what their plans are for at least the new year, But it's been interesting. I mean, it's definitely a funny thing to discuss, like this dystopic world. It's like it's actually happening still.
Welcome to 2020, entering 2021.
Exactly.
Who would have thought? What a cool sounding year, and what terrible things it has brought with it. I mean, I guess. How about you, Paul? So Peabody, have you made more music? Have you felt that you've been more creative during this time? Because I know creativity and inspiration it's varied per person. Like, I haven't felt very creative, but.
Yeah, I think in the very beginning, it was really hard for me to kind of like, I'm a super hypochondriac. So in the very beginning, I was like, shut my doors, close. I was like, just focus on trying to stay healthy, I guess you could say. And through the time, it's like you get more, I started to like, I've been working on my second album basically, and I started mixing it because I was like, well, I know this needs to get done. I just need to like actually get in the back. You know, it's always one of those things you kind of, I'm sure you feel the same with making records where you go through phases, maybe like the beginning phase, and then all of a sudden you kind of like, sit back for a second. So it was time for me to jump back into that. So thankfully, the creativity now, the second half of quarantine has been really good. But the first half was like treacherous. It wasn't very good at all. I was like getting depressed.
You're definitely a hypochondriac. This man has like showed me so many meals he's made over the past 6 months and been like, yeah, I can't wait to have you over. Great. Like, when should we do it? He's like, not soon.
Like
he's just baiting you, like, look at these things that you can't have.
Yeah,
I mean, I definitely want it. Like, that's the thing is, even then I'm like, do we focus on starting to have like dinner parties that are like reserved for certain schedule blocks? You have to like maintain I don't know, it's such a weird thing where I want to see people, and I'm super cautious, but at the same time I'm like being respectful, because the one time people see you doing something, obviously, oh, they're chilling, they're kicking it, it's not a good like influential look, obviously.
You're my
yeah, exactly. See, there you go. But I do be cooking mad shit, and I do send it to Ian. You know, I do tease him a bit.
Yeah, you should. You should. I think.
I also adopted a chinchilla, which has been like the most random quarantine.
You know, when you told me that, I thought it was a joke. Like, I thought you were like.
I thought it was a joke too.
Chinchilla, but then you showed me all the photos, and I was like, it's real.
Is your chinchilla nearby? I mean,
yeah, he's in his cage. I mean, let me see if I can even do this.
I mean, there's no pressure, but this show does enjoy a good furry animal. You haven't had any furless ones yet, so I don't know why you said that. Oh. Anyways. So let's start listening to some music right here. So this one is unreleased. That's my understanding. It's I'm not sure how to say it. Technoghostis? Technosis.
It's the Gnostic GN, the old silent G.
Silent, yeah. I was like, this is. There's been a lot of songs that have been hard for me to pronounce, because people like choosing really esoteric songs from like Turkey or something, and I'm like, I can't say this, and then the guest can't either, and then I just play the song. But. So the artist is Zen. Tell me a bit about the song before we have Michael go and play it.
So it's a collaboration between our virtual artist Zen and Monopoly, who I believe you are all familiar with. Since we founded this kind of virtual artist label, we've been collaborating with a lot of musicians to create new characters that can have, you know, sort of a seeming autonomy in the world and perform and make music.
Okay, cool. Why don't we go ahead and play that now? I'm actually really curious to hear it. Real high-tech studio we got here. Let's see if we can get it a little louder. Ooh, when does this come out?
Q1 next year. We're waiting for a couple companion tracks, because basically Zen's first EP is gonna have a lot of collaborators contributing. So hopefully early next year.
Ooh, I didn't know that there were like Brainfeeder Twitch stickers. If you guys want a good laugh, you guys can look at the comments. I'm not the only one surprised that Dave shaved his head.
It's too crazy.
He heard the track and he immediately shaved his head. Her icy stairs.
Perfect.
Cool. Ooh.
Nice.
Did we miss? Was there a talking outro?
There was a little voice at the end.
Gonna have to go scream at Q1 next year to find out.
That's so sick. I mean, creating kind of like a virtual artist is something that we're seeing more. Obviously, who was the first one? The Japanese anime. What was her name?
Hatsune Miku.
She has some fans here, apparently. Yeah, I mean, I think I was at a festival and I saw her do it like one of those like VR performance, not VR holographic performances. Maybe it was in Taiwan or something, but it's pretty incredible. But since then, I see a lot of people, especially animators, expressing themselves in this way and creating this like character avatar that exists just like a normal artist. So for Zen, I'm not sure how much you guys want to share, but is it collaborative? Is it just Ian's brain in a thing?
Or Ian.
No, it's dead. They're like they're 100. That's actually like one of the main distinctions I think from how we're thinking about it is like not as avatars or one-to-one, like designing something for a musician to be tied to directly, but more like creating these characters as vessels for multiple creators to contribute to. And Hatsune Miku was a big inspiration because like the company that made her just created the vocal synth, and then people made a bunch of music, and they curated like her catalog from user-generated content that people had made, and it actually became like a creative platform for people. Like even though she's a character and she's an artist, it really was a creative platform. And we had worked with so many artists who, like the current content ecosystem has like a lot of pros, and like for us as visual creators, it's incredible that music is so often accompanied by visuals now. But like there's a lot of downsides too in wanting to put out music and experiment and try new things and not have to like you want to do that without having to be the face of it and like launch a whole career yourself and want to try some collaborations with other people. And so that was really the impetus for like these characters being like ways for people to collaborate and just to contribute music and for us to create a lot of cool visuals and narrative stories that go with it.
That's so interesting. It's almost like they're crowdsourcing certain like qualities of like her music and things like that. And in a way, she's everyone's artistic version of themselves. And are you planning on, is Zen going to be more collaborative just within Strangeloop Studios, or are you going to is there going to be a component where people can contribute to his personality or what he does? Or if it's going to be like choose your own adventure, does Zen fall off a cliff, or does he become the next Britney Spears? Like what's in store?
I mean, we're starting with like people in our circle, as collaborators, like people that we've worked with musically over the years. Like Charles Monopoly was like in on this from an early stage, so he was one of the first people we hit up. And then also like a lot of songwriters and producers who are used to working behind the scenes and writing for other people who are now writing for a virtual artist. Yeah, long-term dream is definitely like be releasing packs and sounds, and rather than just doing like remix compilations, like actually bring some of the fans' music into the canon, like into the catalog of Zen. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. I wonder how that's going to change the landscape in the future. If you have crowdsourced components of a song, then how does it work with like licensing or publishing and all of that? There was actually, this reminds me, someone had told me about this book and I forgot the name of the author, but he had created this theory that he believed where eventually people would just create for themselves. We wouldn't look to other people to create. And it's very much happening. I mean, this was told to me like maybe 15 years ago, this concept and this idea. And I was like, yeah, I can see that happening. It is pretty easy to download Ableton, but you see that really happening now where everyone is a DJ. Everyone is can be a rock star. Everyone can be that. And at some point, when are we to look to other people when we can just look to ourselves to create?
Yeah, I think also with 3D animation, it seems like one of the fields that still has kind of a high barrier of entry, but that obviously is going to disappear at a certain point. Just like once we got sort of Ableton and different DAWs became much easier for people to at least dive in and make some kind of music, and that's happening with 3D animation as well. But more than just like make sort of pieces of content that only we could create with certain kinds of software. We want to open that process up. So we've been working in game engines recently, and having Twitch streams even where people can actually modify elements of the scenes and kind of participate somehow in that in changes within that 3D environment, which obviously is something we're familiar with if you're looking at like the video game landscape, but it's not as well tread territory like when you're thinking about musical performance or that sort of thing.
Interesting. Then, I mean, I guess moving forward, do you guys plan on? Is this more of like an experimental thing? You guys are just trying this out with Zen, or is this something you guys are really going in like you're gonna get Zen a Grammy?
She's gonna get herself a Grammy.
Oh,
she's gonna get it. Not that our faith in the Grammy institution obviously is taken out of the blade. Gives with one hand, takes away with the other. But no, it's like pretty much the singular focus of our studio right now. We're still doing. We went and found some partners that like are helping us get it off the ground. And yeah, honestly, we kind of made that transition in December and like started going hard at it in February, just in time for like a bunch of our concerts that we've been planning to do in 2020 that we were planning to do in parallel to get pushed for the foreseeable future. So luckily, like there are similar enough realms and skill sets that all our whole team that works on concert visuals was able to jump on board and actually really accelerate the process of getting these things out into the world. But yeah, we've designed 6 characters right now, and one of them has an EP that's coming out in February. That's not same music as Zen. It's much more like post-rock, like heavy genre. But yeah, I'm
really excited.
It's collaborating with somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here if you guys ever want to work with anyone.
We wanted to hit you up by going on Twitch with you. We know how to get in contact.
This is like a scratching back situation. Actually, this brings me to this part, and I mean, it's interesting because we were just talking about kind of COVID and food, but there is the food section of this program, and I wasn't sure. Have you guys been briefed on this yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those tuning in right now who may not be aware, this is the moment in the program where we support our local businesses. Originally, that's what it was for, to support local small restaurants by ordering takeout and keeping them afloat. But throughout the course of this quarantine, I've found that many artists either live too remotely to order food, or a few of them are taking this time to work on their health. They've been cooking for themselves, which is kind of like what Peabody's been doing. So yeah, I'm curious what you guys get. You guys?
I mean, I would have honestly cooked. I would have cooked a little feast if this. If I thought it was. I still went and got some food. I went to a Jamaican market, natural art market that's like on Washington Boulevard, kind of close to downtownish area. But I got some like young beef patties.
Jamaican food is. I'm just gonna say this: Jamaican food is the number one type of food that is brought onto this program by far, like significantly. I would say almost every other week, because we had Jesse Boykins the third. He brought it. Anyone from the UK, all they either do. Okay. They all bring Jamaican food too. It's I've ordered also Jamaican food. It's I don't know. It's just a thing. It's good. If anyone hasn't tried it, you should try it, because that's by far the most popular, more than even tacos. It's just Jamaican, like goat curry, things like that.
Tacos.
We went the tried and true route by ordering from a place that we've been going to for both of us have been going to
since high school for sure.
Yeah, maybe 15 years, something like that. Tacos Por Favor in Santa Monica. And it's just
14th and Olympic.
It's the best.
14th Olympic. Give them phone number. Put the phone number out there right now.
Yeah. Let's see what you guys order. You can do a little show and tell with the camera.
Dave's doing veggies right now, Dave.
Yeah, Dave's veggie now.
Oh, really? When did that happen?
I like that.
I've been, I guess pescatarian. I still eat fish sometimes, but I've been veggie for like 10 months.
Wow.
Damn.
Got some asada tacos, some pastor tacos.
Ooh.
Ian went the meat route.
Dave's veggie burrito.
Thank you.
Nice. Did they do the al pastor with the pineapple? Because it has to.
He said no. He said no.
They do it like off the.
Oh, the spit.
The spit, but not
sans pineapple.
I mean, you can always DIY your pineapple.
Yeah, it's true.
Sounds good. I mean, actually, Peabody, sorry, I think I cut you off because I was like, another one doing the Caribbean island food. So you got patties. Did you get anything else?
I got also a fantastic cucumber lemon honey juice as well, which is quite refreshing, good for the skin, good for the hydration.
Your skin is looking excellent. It could be the low definition of the program. But you look really
I'm glowed up. I'm really glowed up on the show right now.
Do we eat or?
Yeah, so eat throughout the program. One of the main reasons why I also like having the food is when we're listening to music, sometimes we don't know what to do while we're listening, so it's a good time to chow down. So I ordered from Worst Kusha or Worst Kuchi. No one exactly knows how to say it, but that's where I ordered from today, and I have quite the spread. Okay. So let's see. I have this one, which is their vegetarian. No, actually, this is not. This one is pheasant. So it's pheasant. I put the caramelized onions and some, I think, Dijon mustard on top. And on top of that, I also have this one, which is their veggie chipotle. And then I put like their spicy and sweet peppers on it. And I think I accidentally put honey mustard on this one, but I'm still gonna eat it. And actually, it might taste better. There's nothing wrong with honey mustard. I think that was just not what I was going for. And I have an entire gigantic bag of chips. They're like truffle fries. And
classic.
Sauces. This one's my favorite. Like, I've been going to this place since like they opened in 2008. Their curry ketchup, which is simple but delicious. And hooked myself up. Got a little a burr for today.
Nice. Lewis told us we couldn't drink. He doesn't trust us.
That's pretty LOL because a lot of times people are pretty toasted on this program, whether they know they're allowed to or not.
He was like, "Oh, no one ever like."
Yeah, I seen you guys on tour.
You don't want to be the guys who have.
That's so funny. You guys, I've rarely seen you guys like that. I mean,
Because Lewis is keeping us and keeping us.
Maybe it's this FOMO. I poured this beer so bad. Look at this.
Wow.
Oh,
What did I do? I ruined it.
220 only.
Okay, well, there's a lot of food to be eaten. Let's play this next song. So this one, it's great because actually I just caught this one too. So Salami, okay. How do we say her entire name?
It's Salami Rose Joe Lewis.
Okay. Good.
She's like one of the newer signees on Brainfeeder, and that song literally just dropped today on Brainfeeder with Strangeloop did the visualizer actually for it. So a double up, super meta.
The visualizer master. That doesn't visualizer master. That doesn't sound that good, huh?
No, that doesn't.
Visualizer master.
Never ring to it really.
We'll work on that one. Actually, I heard the song today. Caught her on. I follow her on Instagram, so her music is incredible. I've enjoyed everything that she's done, but sometimes if you don't hear an artist name being spoken out loud, you don't know how to say it.
Totally.
And so
I'm always like, anytime I have to introduce anybody's name, anytime, because I'm like on the the mixtapes or whatever it is, radio shows, I have to like tell them to voice memo me their name. Even for Ian, I did the same thing. I was like, dude, is it Blount? What is it? Like, I don't remember. Like, just tell me.
I think I sent you a voice memo just like screaming.
Yeah, you pretty much did.
But yeah, then that's how it's pronounced. That means that's how it's pronounced. So I hope that's he said it, because sometimes it's different. You put a check mark in it, and
exactly,
it's a scream. So okay, let me play the song. So the new track is called "We're Dumb." It's incredible. I've been listening to it all morning, so nice to listen to it again.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat. If you guys have any questions, please let us know.
Came out today?
What?
This came out today?
Oh, I thought you asked if we had a bidet, and I was like, quite a random question to have in the middle of this.
I just spilled a bunch of mustard all over myself.
No.
I'm wearing a white shirt.
Things are going down right now.
So good.
Yeah, Salami's my favorite.
I like the time signature that she does towards the end. It's not quite like, it's not as nuanced as if you're just swinging it early. It's definitely like a whole like portion of a step early. So cool. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's singing. She's also producing everything, right? Is that
Yeah,
right?
she sings, produces, writes everything. I mean, she does tour with like a band and play with a band when she can, but yeah, everything's her, which is like, I mean, I've known about her. She's actually the first vocalist I ever worked with, which is like, you know, nowadays probably like 5 or 6 years ago. But I've known her for so long. I saw her first show ever, which was like a little restaurant bar thing that was like in, I want to say Silver Lake somewhere. And, you know, and to see someone like progress and actually go and like, you want to see that exact progression. It's such a good thing. She's like literally like a little sister to me. So yeah, that record's coming out in like December December 11th. So
Is it just a single?
no, it's a whole record. That's just
Oh,
that's the second single from that record.
Okay,
she actually
amazing.
had a song with a remix, Georgianne Mulger remixed. So this record for her is basically like she released her record on Brainfeeder last year, I believe it was. And this is like the B-sides album. She made so much material during that time that she basically created a whole nother record. So with that said, she like, you know, put out a couple remixes too, but it's all unreleased material. Like, and then again, Strangeloop did the visualizer for that too. So yeah, she's got, I mean, 2021, she's going to put out a whole like another record, but this was kind of like the last of that chapter of that time. So she's one of the best, I think. She's also a sweetheart.
It's amazing. Yeah, she's really incredible. You guys there's no echo, right? There was a good moment. So let's think about other things right now. How do you think, at least for the Strangeloop guys, how do you think touring will change for you once we come back? Because, you know, obviously, you guys do tour a lot too. You guys are animators. You guys go out on tour with really large acts. You guys are creating content, but a lot of the landscape will change and may even rely on you guys more, perhaps. I mean, do you guys ever think about how that could affect you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, it's definitely going to be different when it comes back. But I think that all the things that we're developing right now could probably be helpful in these future circumstances. Like anything we're doing with, you know, real-time kind of 3D environments that can be streamed, that you can interact with, the types of things like Wave XR is doing as well. Like these can be other layers to the concert experience. They don't have to be sort of like a replacement or anything like that. They can be something that is just an additive aspect, and so I don't feel like, you know, in a way, I don't feel like we're taking a deep tour now in a certain respect. I feel like we're you know, creating some of the architecture that will be helpful when concerts come back, and we see a world in which you could also have concerts where, you know, 3D characters who are like Hatsune Miku, and where that can also exist as a, you know, as an online experience. It could be just, as I said, kind of another layer to the real world experience.
That's actually a good segue into my next question, is about this online experience. And right now, sorry, I have like ketchup all over my fingers. You know, for people like me and many artists, we're streaming a lot and we're doing live shows. I know Flylo just did one recently. People have been submitting like DJ sets and performing in these ways, and I'm wondering for you guys how you guys have been contributing to that. Have you guys been like providing visuals for people doing these type of shows? Because I know even like super large acts, was it the weekend? So a few people have been doing these like socially distanced large scale concerts. So
yeah, so we worked on the weekend Wave XR show, which was on TikTok, and also just, I don't know, like since the pandemic, there's been a lot of requests to do visual sets for streams.
A lot of them are from Peabody.
Yeah, a lot of times Peabody. I'm busy. Got stuff going on.
Give me some more.
Every goddamn Thursday, some visuals.
No, it's actually really, really fun though, and yeah, we have. I've worked a lot on the hit shows they've done, and often doing visuals for Paul, or sometimes I've been kind of guest producing certain shows. Time Boy's been producing most of them, but I'll usually kind of interject some content. And then I also helped with some visuals on this last Mixcloud performance from the Brainfeeder crew.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is wild though too? Like in addition to the ones that people are just putting together remotely, I did my first like XR. You know Joji.
Yeah.
He did an extravaganza, whole live ticketed live stream thing. And for video guys, like the setup now for these stages is like it's a movie, it's a dream, it's all video. Like he just walked into a sound stage that was covered in LED walls.
Mm-hmm.
And the lighting guy looked at me and was basically like, have fun. Like this is a show. You're gonna be like, well, and the COVID protocols were also like more strict than any work environment. I mean, I guess it's one of the few like on-site things I've done since it started, but it actually seemed like they were being super, super conscientious. But that whole world is going to change too. Like, I think that's not going to go away even when touring comes back, just because it's the tech has radically accelerated because it's the only option.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gotten so cool. It's a whole different thing. Like you can really put someone in a full 3D world that they can see. So it's not green screen. Like they can actually interact with the stuff going on the screens, and it lights them dynamically. And I think that's going to become just a much bigger part of production in general, like regardless of whether it's by necessity or not. It's fun.
It's pretty incredible. These in-person protocols are really interesting. I've done a few streams. I'm, very conscientious. I'm very, I think Peabody mentioned earlier, it's really important to set a good example and to lead and do so. So when I've been doing these streams, I try to be very conscientious of like, I've done a few with my mask on in the earlier days once, I trusted people to really sanitize things. I could perform with my mask off, but I've been just like left in a room to DJ before and no one was there. It was so weird. I was on a stage. I forgot the name of the venue, but I was on it was kind of like a light box, actually, maybe like a big gigantic LED wall behind me, but in front of me was also an LED wall, and there was just a little square cut out where there's a camera coming through, and I just like DJ'd, but it was like there was no one there, not even like a camera guy that was really far in the distance. There was no one, so it was very surreal in a way. Kind of freeing, there's no expectations if you don't see anyone.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but let's play this next song. So Strangeloop, you guys picked this song by Fabiana Palladino called Waiting, and I see that it was produced by Jai Paul, which is also super interesting.
This is his record label. This was my summer jam all summer. But
Paul Institute
compilation. Various artists.
Paul Institute. That's a collective. Do you guys know what he's been up to? He's kind of like this elusive, mythical creature, and he had some issues before with a bunch of music being leaked that he didn't approve, and he sort of disappeared into the ether.
Yeah, I hadn't heard much from him in a minute.
Interesting.
But I think this is him and his brother's label or something.
Okay, well, I'm excited to hear. So this track is called Waiting by Fabiana Palladino. Sorry, Lewis.
Got that classic fade out.
I love fade outs. There are not enough songs with fade outs.
Real talk.
I've actually mentioned this with a previous artist on this, maybe a few times. I love fade outs. I love when you listen to it and you're like, when is it really gonna end? You're just like constantly still listening to it. That's pretty amazing. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this again. I don't know how I did it so poorly. I did the sideways thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Okay, better.
Brewskis.
I remember these ones have like mad amounts of alcohol in it, right?
Yeah, that's like a toasty one. Shemai's get you faded.
Yeah. 9%. Watch me.
The fade out used to be much more common, right? Like, I feel like that caps off the nostalgia of that track. It's like it's already a nostalgic track, and the fact that it just like tapers
Exactly,
off.
that's exactly what it is. Yeah,
Exactly.
It's like 60s or style like ballad fade out.
Yeah. It has the song has like those like 80s pop synths in it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Very like
So
the same.
I'm gonna blow this, but her dad was Dino Palladino, bass player.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's what I was like, that name is a big
exactly.
name.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm like trying to think of like good questions to ask you because I miss you guys. Let's see. So I think one commonality, but at least between like a few of us or many of us, is the whole Brainfeeder thing. We all have a Brainfeeder thing component to each of us, a quality. What do you call Brainfeeder? It's like a crew, but it's a label. It's like a thing that's a part of you. Once you're a part of it, it's a part of you forever. You know, it's super interesting, and you know, it's left this really long, like lasting impact on, you know, like live performances, modern day electronic music. You can hear so much of it being influenced by, you know, that kind of heyday in 2010 and all of that. How does it feel now knowing that you can actually recognize some of these patterns? Because for me, when I look at artists like, I don't know, Disclosure or Flume, or, you know, even like many that are younger than them even, it's like kind of cool to see. You'd be like, oh, I know that sounds a little bit like a Sam I Am thing. You know, you can kind of point those qualities out, and you feel, number one, you feel old, and then number two, you feel like like you've done something, you know? How does it feel like for you guys? I mean, I'm just speaking for myself.
I mean, I feel like when you can acknowledge someone's sound, it's an accomplishment as that. And someone should feel that way at least, you know, because it's like so much music we're in a disposable world now with, you know, sonically, you know, where we said earlier, like anybody could be a DJ, anybody could be a producer. So it also said anybody can sound like anybody else. So it's hard to find that distinguishable, you know, quality in one's music. But once you do, it's like I feel like when the fans acknowledge it, it feels really good, because it's not just you don't feel it to be like, oh, this wasn't as easy as people make it seem. Because it's like, once you replicate it, it becomes like, oh, I could do this too. It's a hard thing to kind of keep up with yourself at that point, because everyone's like, you know, taking your style or whatever. So I feel like if you can get to that point where you can acknowledge that this music sounds like somebody, and you can acknowledge who's the real or who's not. It's kind of I always think it's an accomplishment because it's so hard to do nowadays, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, in many ways, we're just products of our influences.
Absolutely.
Even those influencing people have themselves been influenced by other people.
Totally.
It's a great thing to point out because it just shows you're grateful for all those people that came before you and paved the road and paved the way for you to create the sounds that you do. And I think I'm also curious for you, the Strangeloop guys, you guys kind of, and I'm really proud of you guys for this. I know that can sound really motherly, but really changed the landscape of tour visuals and a tour experience. And even way back, was layer 3 was before the cube thing, right?
It was, yeah. We did layer 3 and then the hypercube and then the 3D show, I think, was the kind of progression.
Yeah. My understanding is that 3D show is really hard to tour with.
It's a little hard, yeah.
To have the LED wall is just like any other LED wall. It's just, like part of what makes it special is they just don't have, it doesn't exist that much. Like, I feel like we're in this cool window where some people have like cottoned on to how cool the tech is, and yet it's still widespread adoption where it'll just be everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly like in theme parks, and then the few select touring acts, and but I mean the plus side is the setup on the road. There's nuances to calibrating it, but it is just like an LED wall you snap together.
Yeah, we did we had a lot of issues just in being in different venues and having of LED walls where normally that wouldn't be a problem if you're dealing with a 2D image, but when you're dealing with 3D and you're trying to have 3D objects that move around the artist and don't intersect with them, it becomes really, really tricky. And so Timeboy and I would spend a lot of time before each show just looking through all of our content, and then even using some real-time content where we could easily adjust it for different venues. And so yeah, it was a bit tricky, but I love the effect. Still, every time I get in front of a 3D LED wall, it's just I feel like or something I'm in church, because I love being able to see fully just immersive imagery, the sort of stuff that we love, obviously, fractals and cool.
You do like a fractal, I will say.
not a very
David loves a fractal.
Yeah.
There's no finding that. I mean, it's this progress of technology, and what I love about art and technology is how intertwined they can be. It doesn't have to be. You can also just have a guitar and still be a platinum selling artist. But because we exist in this world of electronic music, visuals and stuff that we're creating that are very much not fully analog, they're just a digital environment that we're creating. It's endless what we can do, and it's so exciting to constantly be taking out new technology and figuring out a way to use that to support our art. And I'm curious for you guys, because you guys are obviously on the forefront of so many technologies I have no idea about. Have you guys heard of anything new, some AR stuff, maybe some interesting secret stuff?
I mean, I do think what Dave alluded to earlier, real-time game engines, the quality bar that they're hitting, the way they're getting a little easier to get proficient at, is kind of going to trickle down into a bunch of visual media. AR and XR, a lot of that stuff I think is going to be accelerated creatively by the tools, getting more sophisticated.
And the ability to make pretty kind of photorealistic stuff very easily and in real time. I mean, that's a totally new thing. And, and it's not you're always going to want to do that in animation, because depending on what style you're dealing in or what ideas you're trying to get across, you might not need to have photorealistic animation. When we did our VR experience together, Jen, the Wave experience, that doesn't need to be hyper real. It would have ruined if it was realistic, and it was really,
Yeah.
I thought it was really fun because it was just, felt hand drawn and felt kind of,
Dude, it's so cool. I feel like 2020, or we're in the era of immersive, like everything is immersive. You want to feel like you're in something, and how much closer can we be to feeling like we're in something? And I remember with the Way VR, the album release that we did for my album Lune Rouge, it's this bizarre feeling because it's completely 2D animated, but you're in a 3D space, and when you're in it, you meld with that reality. That becomes what you see, and it's still 3-dimensional when you're in it, but there's no shading, I guess, and when you leave that atmosphere, it's very shocking to come back to a very, I don't know, detailed world, to say the least. And it's bizarre. And we've had this conversation before in the past about the pros and cons of virtual reality, and there are people critiquing it, saying, if you depend on it too much, people may lose their comprehension of interacting socially in real life. And I do remember at that time you're saying the opportunities that VR gives people who may not be able to, interact with other people in real life. Like, if you have maybe like you're not very good socially in real life, or you have an illness that doesn't allow you to interact with people. I'm curious if you still think that way, and if you still believe in VR versus AR, because I feel like maybe AR might be going even further now.
Yeah, I think that it's all interesting, AR, VR, and I don't think we have to choose where, I know some people say it's like a competition that like one's going to win out, and really both rely on kind of real time interactive technologies. So it's just sort of like whether you're totally occluding yourself from this reality and like diving in to some other space, or whether you're like mixing that reality with this reality. And both, I think, have a place. I mean, I'm speaking from the perspective of, I'm someone who spent like hours and hours and hours in VR at certain times. Like I push the limits, even like with the Wave XR people,
they were worried for his health.
Yeah,
there were VR techs who were like, "You're spending too much time in."
Yeah, because like actually when I was on our show together in Austin, I wanted to like get the most use out of the time I had there, so I would be in VR, kind of directing the show for sometimes like 6 or 7 hours a day.
Wow.
So I would just like lie down on the ground actually and have them cook the whole scene, so it could be like I could be facing forward, and I have a hello, and I would just like be directing stuff. And obviously, when I got out of VR after that length of time, like I felt a little crazy, but I also like valued that sort of weird, almost like shift of perspective that occurs, and it is a little bit psychedelic in a way. And I mean, I could totally see a future where this could all go horribly wrong in VR. The Matrix.
To be honest, everything can go horribly wrong. There's a lot of things right now that are going horribly wrong. So I would take that with a grain of salt. It's anything that we have that will propel us, further into the future might have some issues, But
but there's beautiful possibilities with
exactly.
AR and VR. Yeah. It's not, it's about how we use it, and I think probably the best use of a lot of these things is creating another layer that expands our experience in some way. And it's not a replacement for real life.
Or is it? Is this just a bit? This is 2020. What does that mean? Just saying like 2020 is like the craziest Black Mirror episode ever.
Yep. I mean, we've seen all this stuff before. Like we've seen the movies where people are like, I almost feel like some of this stuff is just creating the plausibility. We've already seen these things in movies and it's already happening. It's like people have already kind of thought about like, what if we couldn't be this close to each other? How do we maintain a level of connection still? Whether, I mean, right now it's even being proven that is the case, so it's like a gift and a curse for sure. I think it's like there's definitely gonna get people lost in it. I mean, people get lost in like World of Warcraft, you know, and it's like for weeks, and it's like that game's been out for 20 years or something like that now. So it's like I feel like it's
Time Boy got lost in it. He told me that he had to.
Yeah, he did tell me that too.
I know people too.
It's a deep addiction.
Oh yeah.
That you guys have all seen that South Park episode, right? Where they all get they start like shitting in buckets and stuff. I know that's not polite for the show, but I mean that's what the episode's about.
So good.
Yeah, I
John
used.
went that far. Hopefully, John stopped.
I mean, you know, in like these big games, they do have a big impact on, you know, generations of people. Because in Korea, these things are huge, like League of Legends, you know, StarCraft, all those things.
Overwatch,
I mean,
everything.
I remember my mom was like, you know, don't go to those. I used to play, oh my God, I used to play, shit. I forgot the name of it now, which proves I didn't play it enough. Counter-Strike, yeah. So like I used to play Counter-Strike. I used to go to those PC places to go and play them. And my mom would be like, don't go there. It's like super dangerous. And it was because there was a lot of like Bloods. Like they were like the Carson Samoan Bloods would go and hang out there and play Counter-Strike all day. It was like a real thing. But it's because my mom had seen all these articles and had read all these articles in the news about people dying in Korea from just severe neglect. They just sit there and just die in their computer chair from just not eating, not going to the bathroom. But we've evolved. That's like less of a thing, I think.
I don't know. I feel like it's almost normalized to a point that's overlooked at this point. We know it happens and we just don't think about it almost. Because there's got to be some dude shitting some of his pants like playing video games too long. There's got to be still. I mean, not in a good way. There just has to be though.
I mean, maybe he just plays World of Warcraft on his toilet now. People figured out a way to not make it problematic anymore.
It's true.
You know, everyone's just drinking Soylent and sitting their butts on the toilet, and then they're just fine. They're constantly eating and
problem solved.
Modern problems need like modern solutions, right? Is that not the saying?
That's what they were talking about when they said that.
Yeah.
Definitely like I spent a lot of time here with like all these computers with Ian and like, you know, if you spend a lot of time in front of a computer, which now increasingly is what we're all doing, you want to be like comfortable or whatnot. And, like looking into like gaming chairs and stuff, trying to find the right, you know, sort of model. And one of them is like, it's like a $33,000 chair that looks completely insane. That is like, I think they call it the Scorpion or something. Like,
I just saw that, dude.
You know, are out on these like sort of holders or whatever. And I just thought, man, like, yeah, I would love to have a chair like that, but if I got one, it would just be bad news because it would be like never leave, you know,
just and sores on your ass just from.
There's no way to get out of the chair once you're in it. Essentially,
Scorpion connects with you.
Yeah, just
the next time we see you, you're this like crazy cyborg. You're just like one with the chair.
Yeah,
the armrests are just like melded into your arms now.
This is like who I am now.
Well, that's actually why he shaved his head. Is because the Scorpion.
We couldn't plug in with the hair back there.
Oh, that's
the brainwaves.
What's that? Oh my God. There's that really famous old Japanese film where the guy ends up becoming kind of like this giant.
Tetsuo Iron Man?
Yes, exactly. That's going to be you, but it's going to be David Computer Chairman.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know it's a bad idea, but I think we all, you know, dream of that at some point. I mean, people that are like into this kind of like cyberpunk sort of stuff. It's like you sort of want to like, you know, be in the Matrix or something. You want to like experience that kind of like connection with technology, and probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
John's fantasy.
This is not related to music or what any of you guys do, but aliens. Everyone has an interest in aliens, and so I was able to ask Seth Shostak. Do you guys know who that is? So he's like the senior astronomer at SETI. So that's like the Center for Extraterrestrial. They're trying to see if there's actually aliens out there, basically. And he's been on like Ancient Aliens a few times, but he's, you know, accredited like a highly accredited individual. So I actually asked him about aliens, but then in a more intelligent way than just that. I was just like, do scientists really believe in intelligent beings outside of Earth? And essentially, like, do you believe that they have been visiting, and do you think that it's worthy to investigate extraterrestrials, or if that takes away from, classic astronomy and things like that? And he said, number one, it's widely assumed, like it's widely accepted by scientists that obviously there are aliens, because there's 300 million other planets just like Earth, just in our own galaxy, something like that. And then he shot me down about them visiting, though. He's like, that is not widely accepted by the scientific community. I was like, okay, well,
movies say otherwise, man.
I mean, you guys saw those videos like the government had kind of released, the thing that, remember, like Tom DeLonge was always about the aliens, and he released these videos, and then the government's like, yeah, those videos are real.
I mean, with someone just in the comments was saying about the Phoenix Lights. I was in Arizona when I used to live out there with those Phoenix Lights, and I saw that shit. That shit is like, I found it really hard to believe that wasn't something supernatural. Not supernatural, but like something otherworldly, if you will. Because it was just like too perfect. And I was like, this is creepy as shit. Like, otherwise, it's like, why are they wasting our time? Like, the government's just having fun with us. Like, yeah, let's just trip them out a little bit.
You saw it? You saw it IRL with your eyes?
That shit was wild. I was in a car.
In
Granted, I was, partaking in a little substance of marijuana at the time. But, like, I really did see that. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I remember walking home. I got to go home now. And just, like, walked in the house and felt really weird. And, like, they're like, and then I walked in the house. My parents are watching the news. That's the same thing I just saw. I was like, I just saw that.
This is your first memory that you're describing? This is
This is how I was born.
Phoenix Light?
Just came through a light. I'm a being of light. That's all I am.
Jen, what was the name of the guy that you talked to?
Well, Seth Shostak. SHOST.
What was your degree of confidence that he was not an alien? Like,
he himself an alien?
Wow.
I mean,
who knows?
Perhaps. Well, I mean, he's actually trying to look for them. He was saying that it's just not widely accepted that they have been visiting, and he was kind of, he gave me good reasons. He's like, why? He's like, why now?
He's trying to throw you off his path. He's trying to be caught.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Paul. That's what I'm saying. I think, wouldn't you want one of your own leading the search?
Exactly. He's living amongst us.
So I took a course on astrobiology, right?
Okay.
Because I had this theory that, like, if I was, going to get into art, like, I shouldn't just take, like, art courses. I should take courses of just things I'm interested in that might, help me be a better artist. And so I took this astrobiology course, and the first day, like, the teacher showed us all these pictures of what people think aliens are going to look like. He showed us, like, the alien, from the Ridley Scott film, all these, like, classic alien archetypes. And he was like, we all think that aliens are going to look like this, and they all basically look like people, right? Like, they have, most of them have 4
like bipedal
eyes. Yeah, and it's like, and then he's like, but what if, this phone right here, that could be an alien, and we wouldn't even know it. And the whole class was totally confused. But I sort of like tuned into it. I was like, that's a really good idea. Like, we basically don't even know if we would recognize an alien if we were confronted with it. We might think it was something absolutely normal. Don't look at me like that.
One of you two are aliens, or both of you guys are aliens. I'm trying to decide right now. It's one out of one, or both.
A random object, that could be like a higher dimensional being. We don't even know. Yeah.
What if David's the alien trying to fool us into thinking that he's not the alien because he's talking about aliens?
Exactly. Yeah. This is like getting way too meta.
Possible, and I might not even know it. That's how crazy.
That would make you Superman, right? Isn't that the Superman thing? It's like he didn't know, but he's actually an alien.
Oh yeah. Well, I did always want to be Superman.
There you go.
There you go. Let's play some more music. Sorry, I was so excited about the findings. I'm like, who would care about aliens more than these guys? I'll send you guys like the longer format of his reply, but he was definitely like, Aliens plausible? Yes. Aliens here? No. That's.
I don't know.
I'm wearing the shirt. I've got the aliens above the pyramid.
Wow.
Ooh.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at you. Look at you.
What's behind you, Peabody?
This is Akira. The explosion of Akira. Neo
Oh, that's
Tokyo.
right.
Young Neo Tokyo exploding. But it's also a blanket. If you want to wear it, you can wear it too. You get cozy with it if you really want, you know.
Wow.
It's good, multifunctional. I like things that are art /
Exactly.
comfort zone.
If
It's a
it really
good
got
one.
cold in here, rip that
Do you have
shit
a
down.
safe behind there? I feel like you've got your safe hidden behind that. Fine.
Don't
What's
tell
in the
anybody.
safe though? What's in the safe?
Box? What's in the box?
It's gonna be proof that Peabody is the alien.
Exactly. This whole time, this right behind here.
It's been awfully quiet.
DNA, alien DNA.
I don't doubt it. Let's play this next song. So, Peabody, this is your pick. It's called Rosebud. It's by Oakley. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, she's a French based. Well, she's I think actually living in London now, but she's a French producer, singer, songwriter. But she actually speaks like all of her music's in English. But she's a super fantastic. She works with like Sega Bodega and kind of one of those like I think she makes some of the best pop music, like just pretty much perfect pop music to me. So it's like, and I'm kind of a stickler with pop music per se, but I think she makes like pretty much everybody kind of likes it. So yeah, okay, Lou, she's really dope. She's good. She's a good one.
All right. So this song was released on the album Galore, which came out just a few months ago, September of 2020. So let's give it a listen.
Yeah.
I'm like legit getting like a little toasty from this.
Toasty.
Ooh, cheers.
Cheers. Poof. Oh, we got the White Claws now? Boys are going back in town.
Grapefruit.
Grapefruit is a good one.
Grapefruit's a good one. Mango's a good one. Yeah.
One place, few games, no sound, no witness, one face, one player. Could go like that for hours, always the same, no change, no limit. I'm here, no stretch, aiming, no target. If I don't lose, I don't lose, I don't lose, I don't lose. I don't lose, I don't lose, I don't lose, I don't lose. If I don't lose, I don't lose, I don't lose, I don't lose. Never move, never lose, never lose, never lose. Reload, recharge, return to start. I'm on the run without a destination. Like a warrior, shooting bullets from a white horse. Hero, creature, no one remembers. If I don't lose, I don't lose, I don't lose, I don't lose. I don't lose, I don't lose, I don't lose, I don't lose. If I don't lose, I don't lose, I don't lose, I don't lose. Never move, never lose, never lose, never lose. I need a mission to fight for. Who's the voice, who's the boss, what's the final goal? I need a mission to fight for. I need more. I need a mission to fight for. I lose, I lose, I lose, I lose. I need more than this.
No fade out though. Hot tracks.
I like the kind of like Baroque.
Super Renaissance.
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That's like her. Actually, I think her. What was her record? Kind of has like a very. We were talking about earlier actually about how when an artist finds like a sound, she's got like one where I'm like, oh, that's an okay Lou track or something. Where she's just super good themed, but not to where it's played out after a while. So that's.
Is that how you say her name? Can you say it one more time?
Okay, Lou.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
She's
said it completely wrong.
you know, we're figuring out as we go, you know.
For the number of people that have said my artist name wrong, I'm allowed to say a few people's names wrong, I think.
Oh, people get my name wrong all the time. It's like I love you. You're PBDY, right? I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
It's hard with acronyms because
I
you don't
know,
know if they
trust me.
want it separate. You don't know if they want it together. It's difficult.
I call you
Yes.
Peabody.
Peabody?
Yeah.
Peabody.
I call you Peabody.
Peabody.
Yeah, Peabody.
Peabody is what? Yeah, Peabody's a good one too.
I
Classic.
literally do call you that all the time. Peabody.
Introduces me in that as such as well.
I like how you guys are.
Peabody.
I like how you guys are drinking the White Claw. I feel like during the entire quarantine, I've tried so many different seltzers.
Me too.
Yeah, I think I've tried all. I don't know if all of them. I've tried the Corona one. I've tried the Budweiser one. I've tried White Claw. I've done all the Trulies. There's like the Truly lemonades. Let's see, what else have I tried? It's a few like other ones that are better that are like organic.
What's your favorite?
What was that?
Which one?
What's your favorite?
Crap. There's one I just saw that was pretty good. Oh, you know who actually does it? And it's good as it's crap. Oh, Flying Embers. They do that like hard kombucha, but they actually do seltzers, and their seltzers are really good. They're just like it'll be like a spicy chili pineapple, but it's a seltzer. It's good.
Okay.
I recommend.
The hard kombuchas are bomb. I like those a lot.
Yeah, you can get really turned on those hard kombuchas, you know?
It's like, whoa.
Yeah, we had them at the. We did like a release thing for that short film we made at the end of last year, Children of the Void, and I didn't realize it was hard kombucha. Third one. In which point
Blackout.
Gotta be careful. Some of them are like, I have some in the fridge that are like 9 or 8% too, and they're tall boys as well.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it can get a little turn, a little. It's okay. This is a 3 p.m. show for a reason. It's happy hour. Enjoy. You know, do your thing. So let's see. Peabody. So you had you have your album Careworm, and I know it's a part of a trilogy.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still working on that?
So yeah, like the first one came out last year, and then I've been mixing the second one right now. So like I kind of been going and using like working these records in a time I'm like actually, I guess they're kind of like journal entries. So I'm trying to work on these records as I'm actually emotionally invested in that time period in my life or whatever it is. So this record I finished. I mean, it's not finished, but I finished writing it last year, and or maybe like the beginning of this year, and now it's just kind of the mixing phases. But it's like 15 songs. It's called Heart Sore, and then like the third part of it, the record or like the end of the trilogy I've started as well. It's called Betterment, and that's going to be a lot more of like a orchestral probably thing where I'm trying to get more into like movie score vibes. Actually, it's kind of like where my head's been at for the last year or so. So by then I'll probably be like full blown, you know, hopefully a score-ish, if you will. But yeah, it's been last year's the first thing I ever put out, so it's been kind of interesting to like finally have, you know, known Lotus, you know, and all you guys for so long now. So I think it got really, yeah. I mean, I remember meeting you like one of the first people I met.
I met you when I was on tour with Alfred, and you were still in Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that. It was me, Daedalus, and Shlomo.
Yeah.
And I remember meeting you there. And then I remember later being like, why is this guy in California now?
Exactly.
I remember thinking that too. I was like, oh shit. He came on over. He's a part of the crew now.
Steve, I mean, I remember meeting Steve on MySpace days. So it's like such a trip because that was so long ago. But like, if it wasn't for him, he was the one that was like, yeah, you want to move to LA, like, and get out of Phoenix, you should do that. I was like, all right. So then, you know, it's like years later, I feel like the pressure was kind of like always, I don't know. I always felt like I didn't want to like, I'm always like a firm believer of like adding to the dialogue, but making it like worthwhile and not just doing it just to do it. So I feel like there's so many people in our scene that's been making such, you know, everybody makes such amazing music, and they have for so long. It was super intimidating to be like, to want to release much. And the conversation was already begun, and it was being so well versed already. So I think, you know, after a while it became like, all right, well, you know, even Steve was like, if you don't just, you know, put something out, you have to start somewhere essentially.
Yeah. That's like the number one thing is don't hold on to things.
Exactly.
Put it out into the ether. At least someone will listen to it versus no one will. Or you just, if you don't put it out, it will get old. Your old music, you won't even want to put it out anymore if you just you're too precious. People got to hear it.
That's a common thing I hear with every artist I know that's also like fairly underground, if you will, or quote unquote, where they're so prolific, but they're so like for instance, I run that label Tar, and it's like all these kids from around the world that are they have so much time also to create so much, but they're so unknown. So after a while, they have these amazing tracks that are like, a couple years old and no one's heard except for them, but then they think it's trash. And I'm like, yo, that is like, it was fresh, years ago, and it's even fresher now because it makes more sense now. Yeah. It's like, if anything, people are catching on to what we're doing more than ever. So I think it's like one of those like a one man's trash type of thing, when it comes to creation of your own. Also, I always think my music's trash always, it's like, I'm like the most self-loathing producer there probably is. But I think it also does create like a heavy conscience of like wanting to, put out something that's worthwhile and like long lasting, not just something for like flavor of the month, essentially.
Yeah, 100%. I always feel like there's a little bit of, there's both sides, Sometimes people are too precious with their music and it'll just never get heard.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, sometimes you gotta just put them out and people will get it or they won't. But at least you put it out there and, you have gifted the universe this art that you have created. And it
should be cathartic, I think, for a lot of people. It should be like a healing process, like hopefully,
Oh, with a lot of artists, I find it's these really high expectations. They're just like, well, like I'm putting out like a full EP or like this is my first album or it's my second album. And they create these high expectations of the project that when they decide to finally release it, they're just always disappointed. They're like, well, I didn't get like not as many people, there's not as many streams, not as many people talking about it. And you can't go in with those expectations. You should go put your music out into the universe, out there, as if no one may ever hear it. But there's a better chance that someone will hear it than if you hold on to it,
Absolutely.
But if you start expecting accolades, you're not going to necessarily get any of them,
That's how people get really jaded too very early on in their like music career. They just expect so much so quickly, and then if they don't get it, they kind of like, well, why? Like they look at themselves as if they did something wrong, but it's like, well, again, you just said too, it's like you have to start somewhere, it's
100%.
Like, let it happen, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but you tried, and better have tried and failed than have never tried.
Yeah, and then you're going to make more music, which everyone does, and then you just learn from the first time and put it out better the next time. That's just my opinion, but
no, absolutely.
I've only been doing this for a while. Let's actually, since we were talking about your album, let's play this song. Let's play "Tears or Rain." So this one is one of yours. You released it last year on Careworn. Careworn?
Careworn, yep. Yeah,
Careworn
is like, it means excessive worry, like being tired from excessive worry and anxiousness. So it was
man, that's like 2020.
Pretty much. I was a little bit, I was prophetic with my thoughts on that one.
Is that a real word or did you make it up?
No, it's a real word. Like, honestly, when I was coming up with the record title, I was like trying to explain how I felt in just one word. And I was going through this, like literally like the thesaurus for so long. Mm-hmm. And then that word, I was like, this is the perfect word to explain something I've never knew one word could explain. Like it really is like one of those pivotal words. I'm like, oh, this is, if I knew this my whole life, I would have just explained myself as such.
It almost reads as if I'm so worn out from caring too much.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally like, in the most simplistic sense, it's like you're just tired and unhappy because of excessive anxiety and worry. And so it's like, you're just, like you said, worn out essentially from caring. So yeah, that's it. And then Samuel T. Herring. Yeah, exactly. And then Sam is like the Future Islands lead singer, and he's just a fantastic person. Collaborated with like Bad Naka and all. So, I was very thankful to have him on that track.
Yeah, love those guys. Okay, let's hear the track Peabody, Tears or Rain. Is it Tears or Rain or Tears or Rain?
Tears, yeah.
There, okay.
Blade Runner reference.
Settle mind, settle mood, face to go back. Under blind budding bloom, the corpse, the contract. You and I, we knew, you and I, we grew. wind, the fury still trembling, the fury still trembling, the fury still trembling, the fury still trembling, the fury still trembling. And if you go running round the outskirts of town, past the western wall, outline southern bound, in the cold swallowed brown ashen sea to fall, vast space of sound, someone keeping warm, in the cold swallowed brown, hollowed ground. If you go running round hollowed ground, 797 face to go back. Underlying budding blue, they corpse the contract. You and I, we knew. You and I, we grew.
Boom, boom, boom. Somber times.
All the feelings.
It's a great video to that one as well, right, Paul?
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, David, you were kind of when we were touring together last year. David and I and Strangeloop, and Flying Lotus. It was like I was going through actually putting out that record basically. So yeah, there's a music video there, all CGI. But one of my friends named Sevi Demelochek out of I don't even know where he's. I think he's from Spain. But yeah, super somber songs, you know, sad boy songs. And
Sad
fade-outs.
boy.
Sad boy
I mean,
songs.
I think the thing about music is it's just an expression of self, you know. So there's no one who exists on this planet that's never sad.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you find the one person who isn't sad, that's the alien.
That's the alien.
That's the
him.
alien.
That should be our litmus test.
Who
Who did
did
the
you
strings?
laugh? You have to laugh. Say it again.
The strings?
That's Tailana Renga. So she's like one of my longtime collaborators as well. She's like my favorite. She's like a muse, if you will, like one of the first people that ever kind of pushed me to be like work together collaboratively. And yeah, she's amazing violinist. She's on all over my next record too.
It's so hot.
Hot baby, hot boy summer. Thank you.
Oh, that was the most interesting reaction to that song, I think.
That's really hot beat you got there, man. It's really a hot track.
Man. But it goes. That song goes. It does.
I appreciate
It
it very
does
much.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of presenting where sometimes people come on this program, they want to present things that are like really upbeat or really happy or things that are more dancey. And the reality is the music we listen to, half the time, we don't listen to dance music at home.
Yeah, half the time.
I mean, someone does. If you listen to dance music 24/7, you're also the alien. Let's put that out there. But yeah, is there a story behind this, or is it just how the song came to be? It just ended up being.
I mean, that whole record had a very specific theme. It was like I wrote that record when my mom was passing away, and also at the time of like going through a breakup and just kind of like transitioning into a new phase of like myself, I guess you could say. And so lyrically, actually, it was funny, that whole record, I didn't tell any of the vocalists like, oh, this is what this song is about. The emotions, I kind of like let them kind of figure it out, I guess, sonically. So everybody that wrote on that was like, honestly, it was as if I told them what to write because it was so on point. But yeah, the record just came from like exactly what you said earlier. It's like a bunch of self-reflection and kind of like the whole storyline is just the human conditioning. It's about the human experience. It's about like, you know, how love, loss, death, and it's simple things that we all movies are based upon or whatever it is. But again, it was like, I think that for me, it was at a time where I was like, I'm able to more. I didn't want to have to tell the same story over, so I felt like this was an easy way to be like, here, just listen to this record, and you should get it. Mm-hmm. So I think that was it was again like a very cathartic release, and that's the same thing with the whole trilogy, is like to work on something that's beginning, middle, and ends. Because like I haven't really finished the third record because I'm not in a position to have that. I'm not there yet. So you guys, like, the music that's being released is music that's like being written like a journal entry essentially, and then released as such like later on. So, I think it's maybe the most personal stuff I've ever worked on, but obviously it's like, I feel like that's where people can kind of connect a little bit easier that way.
Yeah, 100%. People resonate. I think the human condition is feeling all those feelings. One of the things that always ended up making me feel, I don't know if better is the word, but maybe more secure is the fact that we're all gonna die.
See, I had that,
you betcha, but in not a scary way. I feel like there's, once I really thought about it and I understood it, and obviously we have all these like mind opening experiences that we can subject ourselves to, but like some big lessons I've learned is that what, we're all gonna die. That's fine. It's okay. Let's make this time on Earth the best we can. We're in this vessel once. But we could be in 1,000 other vessels. Whatever you believe in is completely okay with me. But it's great, and I think like listening to music like this, it can touch a part of you that makes you that can create release. And I think as the artist, you're not making music for people, you're making it for yourself. So the main thing is that it helped you, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing too, like going through that record, actually, it's funny you bring it up. Like my whole life, I've had this whole fear of dying forever, like just, and nonsensical even, like, oh, just in the middle of the night, wake up, be like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, like whatever it is. And then I guess when you have released that ability of fear, that you start to feel a little more like comfortable of just like doing anything you want, obviously.
Yeah. It's very freeing when you don't fear it anymore, but not fearing it doesn't mean, you go out there and start like picking up a heroin addiction or something, you still got to know it's going to happen, but you don't want it to happen too soon, but
yeah, exactly.
You're allowed to kind of live a little bit more peacefully once you understand that.
Okay.
But now up to less somber things. I want to see, the music we've been playing has been fantastic. I'm wondering, what have you guys been doing that's fun during quarantine? I've been drinking a lot, but I don't know if that's fun. I think that might be a problem. I think that might be a problem. But
for me, the drinking is fun, and then the reduced serotonin, like time lapse of like, having to deal with trading that happiness for the next day might net out.
Dude, it's always borrowing happiness from tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah,
I learned that term this year.
That's a good one. I actually like that one.
I wonder how many of us learned that during quarantine when they were like, why do I feel like shit? It's like 12 hours ago.
What was I doing? Taste testing all the seltzers? Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Halfway through Truly Lemonade case number 2.
Yeah.
Very nerdy, but Magic the Gathering as well as Settlers of Catan, both those things have been a big part of my life in the last 9 months.
I like Settlers of Catan. I've only played it with my nephews and I crushed them at it, so it's great.
Yeah, we did that. We did that like several successive Fridays in a row. We also did Among Us, which have y'all played or heard of Among Us? You know this one?
What is that?
I've heard about it, but I haven't played it.
It's kind of like those games you used to play in like elementary school where someone's the murderer and you have to figure out who it is. But
like Mafia, or it's called Mafia, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but using like a mobile game. And some people I thought I was very close to were very deceptive, manipulative, and it's like, oh, it's all a game, but it's like, you lied to my face and I believed you.
You let me believe you.
It's like the sweetest person we work with. He just, every single time, he can fool everyone.
He was just like, I don't know, man. Like you guys fight it out. Like, it's not me. And we're like, okay, well, it's not him. It was him. Over
Every time. It was him all along.
Yeah.
You guys fell for it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wait, what was that called again?
Among Us.
Among Us. Oh, because that's like they're Among Us. I get it.
AOC and Ilhan Omar like played for like 40,000 people on Twitch or something at some point. Maybe
That's a
Oh, yeah,
funny
I
one.
did see that. Yeah.
That's a funny one to see politicians play. I don't know.
yeah.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Let's play this last track. So this is another Strangeloop pick. I'm not sure who picked it, but I can kind of guess. So it's Terminal Slam by Squarepusher.
I picked this one.
Yeah. I know. Let's listen to it. And we're going to talk about Squarepusher because like I have a good Who Man story about him and Squarepusher.
Oh,
or not
right.
not him and Squarepusher, but just my experience with him and it was just something I didn't know about before. I'm getting a little wasted, huh? I mean, not really. You guys know. Shout out Little Snake.
Yeah.
Up in the chat.
Oh yeah. Dave's texting in the chat. Hold on. I want to say hi to Little Snake.
Also shout out Adam.
Young Adam. Yeah, that's good.
Woo!
Yeah.
Fire. Hot fire.
You know, I love the Squarepusher. It's just like there's such insanity rhythmically and sound design wise, and then you just get like this beautiful melody that comes in, kind of like
100%. It's like I don't know. It's just so good. You know, if you ever want to like have a good time at the beach, if you're ever alone, I've learned this because like I actually like left the country for a week for some self-care. If you guys are ever at the beach, it's great time to listen to IDM. Yeah. Though wait, yeah, no IDM artist likes being called IDM, but we're gonna still call them that. But for now, don't tell them. But yeah, because I was listening to Aphex Twin, and I was in like the tropical side of Mexico by myself on the beach, and I was like, this is sick. It's great when no one's there and just the water. It's all super psychedelic. It's great. It's a really great, fantastic experience.
So this premise of being on a beach and being like, well, now what do I? It's like, I'm on the beach. I'm already having fun. I love this next step of being like, I'm on the beach.
How do we take this to the next level?
Yeah, it's maximize. Yeah, maximize
the beach experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's you, beach, water, and then I'm gonna play some Squarepusher. It's fine. You know, whatever. It's great. It's the best time. You almost feel like you're not allowed to do that. You feel like you're supposed to play some Bob Marley or something. But you know what? If you want to play the craziest shrapnel IDM
techniques, like in that song, especially the rhythmic techniques he's been doing for so long, he still sound fresh, and like he still has new approaches to all the like beat repeats and pitch shifts that he does. It's like somehow after doing it for so long, he's still creative with it.
It's, if anything, I almost feel like it's created a new level of relevancy because, you know, obviously now with technology, it's really easy to make music with, I mean, the tools are there to make, you know, very altered sound designy music, but it doesn't mean you're going to use it in the greatest way. You know, it doesn't mean it's going to be good. Though shout out Little Snake, because I think Little Snake is really good.
I was just going to say that I think Little Snake, hey, Gina, is like he's a great example of someone who's just doing incredibly new things with sound design. And it does feel fresh to me. It's like, and it is a fine line. It's really interesting. It could be like it could just fall into complete chaos or be this really sort of articulate, beautifully structured thing. And I feel like musicians like Squarepusher or Amon Tobin or Little Snake all have that commonality where they're kind of walking the line where it could just dismantle itself any moment.
Oh yeah, you never know when it's gonna explode, and that's the thing that's so exciting about music. You know, if you want to go and listen to, you know, pristine pop music, it's always going to be there. And if you want to listen to crazy, insane, mind melting sound design, it's always there too. And now we live in an era where no one judges you for being like, well, I want to listen to Toxic by Britney Spears, but I also want to go listen to Little Snake. And you know what? I think they sound similar, but you just don't see it. You know, it's a thing.
Well, you're starting to also see like pop music is totally transformed now by the far outside of electronic music. It's not just like for the heads anymore. It's like, you know, you have people like OPN producing for The Weeknd.
Yeah.
And it's
all the PC music people, they're all doing crazy
Next
shit
level.
in pop world. Yeah.
So it's like, if anything, they're getting like perfectly embellished in that world with it now. And I think it's good because it starts to separate people like, you know, you can't sit at our table anymore type of shit. Because it's like, well, actually, we're going to start retabling, like resitting everybody pretty soon, because it feels like everybody has like totally flipped the script on being a lot more open-minded in the last couple of years to listening to the far out worlds, which I think is fucking great.
Yeah. Less judgment, more acceptance,
Exactly.
good times. You know, I love performing at concerts and shows and seeing, you know, someone breakdancing and then someone that looks like they just came back from working at Tesla or something. I don't, you know, it's like nice. It's a nice combination. It's really good. I want to say thank you to the three of you guys. We've had such a great time. I don't want to let you go, but I'm holding you hostage technically. So you could just close your laptop, but I mean, I miss you guys, you know, the chat, to everyone, you know, I just like, you guys are such good friends, so it's really nice to see you again. And hopefully when this is all over, we go to K-Town, drink some soju, have a good time.
Peabody, you're cooking. We're all coming
Yeah,
up.
we have to actually do this cooking thing. I should just set up the tables now and just be like, you know, come when you're comfortable. We'll figure it out. That's fine.
Set up the tables and then wait like 6 years and be like, I need to see your vaccine papers.
I told you guys to come when you're comfortable. Yeah, thank you so much, Toki.
Yeah, so thank you so much for everyone who tuned in today. Thank you for tuning in and joining us. Next week we have Duckworth and Two Fish coming by to hang out. So we'll see you then next week. Lost Resort.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Time to close your
I love
browsers.
you all.